To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Father Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry Live. I'm your host, Father Sean, and you guys know all about me. Don't want to bore you with the details. Thank you all for tuning in. I don't have a show without all of you guys, so God bless you all for that. We have a great show today. I have two guests on and a great co-host. But I know that's you guys already know that, and that's why you tuned in. So they're in the green room, and I'll be bringing them out shortly. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, remember my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So, trust me, brothers and sisters, I know times are tough, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. But everything's there at the website. My books, you can get my books a little less expensive at Amazon. They also now are available in audio. But if you get them off the website, I autograph them and I send them to you in a house blessing kit. And part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books off the website go to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. How cool is that? My online course is there, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, if you want to enroll in the class. There's also a place where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. So that's my song and dance. So another great thing about Fridays, the Friday show, since the beginning of the year, I started this and it's been a big hit and everybody loves her. I have a special Friday co-host. So without further ado, she's my friend. I love her and respect her. She's also my publisher and owner of Stellium Books. Please welcome to the show the one and only Annette Munich.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Zach. Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. I'm really excited about today's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, we've
It
got
is.
some, yeah.
Let's
We,
get to it. Let's check the prayer. Do you have anything you want to wait till the end of the show to tell anybody something, or do you have something that just
I
you
don't
got to
really
get out?
have, I don't really have a big announcement. I don't really.
Okay,
We'll do the prayer and
alrighty. Prayer earn time. Prayer earn time. Debbie A from Minnesota. Hi, Debbie. Hello, Father Sean. Hello, Debbie. I know you're a Catholic. I'm Jewish. Okay. We were all Jewish once, right? Yeah, we were. This is a good one. I'm one of the Jews that believes Jesus is the Son of God. Well, then you must be messianic. I'm not trying to be political, but could you pray for all those suffering anti Semitism and religious persecution? Wow, that hits close to home. I love this. You know what?
wasn't
I
it
think,
like last week we had
yeah, I
one
was
about
just about to
religious
ask you that.
persecution? Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are suffering that right now. So, you know what I'm
Wow.
going to do? I know went to my normal prayer book for that, but anti Semitism, bottom line, and religious persecution, in my humble opinion, pure evil. So I am going to actually go to a different book. When I have to pray against pure evil, I go to my St. Benedict's prayer book. And the prayer I am going to pull out, I think there's a beautiful prayer for peace in here. Let me see. Yep, there's a one. I love this prayer. So Annette is called the Prayer for Peace, and I'm going to say this now. You know who wrote this prayer? Pope John Paul II.
Oh, I
So
love
here we
them.
go. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I am. Amen. I offer this prayer up for Debbie A. and all those worldwide suffering anti Semitism and religious persecution. O God, creator of the universe, who extends your paternal concern over every creature and guides the events of history to the goal of salvation, we acknowledge your fatherly love when you break the resistance of mankind in a world torn by strife and discord. You make us ready for reconciliation. Renew for us the wonders of your mercy. Send forth your Spirit that he may work in the intimacy of hearts, that enemies may begin to dialogue, that adversaries may shake hands, and peoples may encounter one another in harmony. May all commit themselves to the sincere search for true peace, which will extinguish all arguments, for charity, which overcomes hatred, for pardon, which disarms revenge. Amen. Okay, yeah, that is a great, great prayer. Thank you for the request, Debbie. Keep me posted on your travels, and I'd like to know if you are just one of those Jews that happens to believe in Jesus was more than just a prophet, or if you are actually a messianic Jew. I'd like to know that. I find messianic uh, Jews to be very interesting. All righty, you ready to check the mailbag? Got in here. I've been in here a lot this week, so there might not be much. Oh, there's one. I thought it might be empty, but let's see. Rick N. from Illinois, your old home stomping ground, Annette.
Yes.
You hear a lot of stories, especially out of the UK, about violent hauntings. Not demonic and not poltergeist, but violent ghosts. Do you think ghosts can kill? That is a great,
Great question.
great question. And I am going to save that for my guests. But really quick, in my humble opinion, I believe they're capable of it. I really do. Um, and I'll just leave it at that. So that's why I always tell people if you're going to ghost hunt, if you're going to paranormal investigate, if you're going to be a ghostbuster, always respect the location, respect the ghosts, don't provoke.
Right.
There's people that don't have a body any longer, and you never know.
Right.
Provoked enough what they're
And
capable.
it's a small thing to add, but someone said to me a long time, and it made sense. Sometimes we just kind of are offensive just by showing up, not just that we're in their spot, but the way we look nowadays, the way we speak nowadays to a spirit that's from 100 years ago. Um, a lot of the way we are today is just not very respectful looking to people from their era. So it's a frowny face from the get go.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah. Well, Annette, are you ready for these two crazy gals?
Yeah, I'm ready. I think this is so exciting.
I know we have at least one of them here. I hope the second one showed up. Um, there's so much I could say about the two of them. Well, first of all, I love them both. I respect them both. I've known them a long time. But I'm just going to say this. Again, in my humble opinion, I consider them the uh, Cagney and Lacey, the Thelma and Louise of the paranormal field. Their resumes, bodies of work, and contributions the two of them have made to the paranormal community are legendary, and they've been doing their thing for us for many, many years. Um, they are the co-hosts of the Outer Realm with Michelle Desrochers and Amelia Pisano. Please welcome to the show Amelia and Michelle.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I
Wow,
can't
what
see
an
anything.
intro.
I know. My gosh, it's still
So
daylight. Where's
excited
my
to have you.
sunglasses?
So
Isn't
great
nice
that
to
we got
see?
you in,
Yeah.
Amelia, that we got you the
Oh,
link we got you in.
no, thank you so much. I've been having trouble with receiving my emails on my laptop lately, so I'm going to do a big clean out later. It's no one's fault. It's just laptop 6 years old. I think it's time.
Which one of you wants to be Thelma and which one of you wants to be Louise?
I don't think either one of us would drive off a cliff though.
Well,
If it's to save a family member, yeah, but I wouldn't drive off a cliff for a man, just saying.
This is why I'm going to I think I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask each one of you, then I'm going to shut up and let you gals talk because I know Annette's excited to talk with you guys. And I want to just relax and enjoy and watch you gals talk.
Sure.
But before we get all paranormally, I have a question for Amelia
Uh
that she
oh.
may not expect that I'm going to ask her.
Uh oh.
And um,
Help me, Sean.
I think this was you. I tried to find the old episode when I had you on my radio show many, many years ago, and I think it was you. If I have the wrong person, correct me. But I weren't you the person? Didn't you and I have a great talk about pizza?
That would be me. I
I
call
knew it was
myself the
you.
human ninja turtle because I could eat pizza 3 times a flippin' day, and I'm happy as long as there's pizza somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I brought it up,
Oh, it's my
somebody
weakness.
somebody sent me this picture, and I went, "Oh my God, I got to show that to Amelia." Okay, are you a big horror fan too?
Of course.
This is an old. Well, you're gonna recognize the movie, and it's a funny thing. But can you see this picture? So
Well, if it's not
Pineapple
thin
and ham.
crust, if it's
Yeah.
not thin crust and you have pepperoni on it, I'd throw it at the wall
well,
too.
the little girl says to Frankenstein, I had them put pineapple and ham on it. He threw her in the lake.
I don't have
Sacrilege.
I don't have an objection. I'm probably one of the few Italians that does not have an objection to Italian like to pineapple and ham as long as it's not on a Italian crust pizza because it can't even hold it. Italian crust pizza is really thin, right? Americanized Canadianized pizza is thicker. It can take it and I actually enjoy it. So sorry all you Italians out there.
I am
There's
Yeah.
a
not
place for
Italian, and I do
anything.
not enjoy it. There we go.
Yeah, there's a place for anything that you like on it, but not on dough from Italy. It's just too thin. The whole pizza Bible thing is no more than 3 ingredients because they're paper thin and they're cooked in a wood oven in 90 seconds. You can't put that kind of stuff on there. It's not
Yeah.
meant to be that way. It never
Yeah.
was.
I actually used to own a pizzeria.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Did I
we're
ever
best
tell you
friends
that?
now.
Yeah. And I was making pizzas and I was pregnant and we made this is a suburb of Chicago. So
Oh,
this was the good stuff. We made stuffed pizza, we made everything.
yeah.
And I
I
made a
did
cream
not
beef,
know
I
that
made
about
meatballs, I
you.
made
He's holding
sausage.
out on you, Sean.
Yeah, we made our own dough, cut our own fries. I had mozzarella, I had spaghetti, I had ribs. I did not
Oh
have
my
it eat
gosh.
in. It was pickup or delivery. But
Yeah.
man, I mean, you want to talk about work hard?
Do you
Oh,
still eat
oh
them?
my
Oh
God.
God, yes.
Good. That's a
Never get
true
sick of it.
passion.
Never get
See?
sick of it ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever. I mean, it's just the way it is. Just love it. But
Yeah.
I have kind of rules too. Like, um,
No
I
barbecue
will
sauce.
make you a pineapple and chicken pizza. I'm not interested
Chicken does
in
not belong on anything.
no,
No, not
and not
pasta,
barbecue
not
sauce and
lettuce.
not
No.
white sauce. No, I will make it for you. You can call it pizza if you want to,
Yeah.
but
And there's no such thing as Alfredo sauce. That's North American.
so
Let me tell you I'll tell you a quick pizza story.
I can't believe I never told
Sharon,
you that,
I
Sean.
I can't believe it either. So now I really want you to come if you ever decide to move to Vegas and you want to, rent a room from me. If I can afford to let you live here free, I would. But if you want to rent a room from me, I'm going to put you to work and you're going to be cooking pizzas.
See,
But here's the thing. I've got the pizza oven, I got the pizza stone, I got all that stuff. Now here's the thing. Sharon lived in Hawaii for many years. She likes either cheese or she likes pineapple
Hmm.
and ham on her pizza. So I have a confession to make. Well, one, I tried pineapple and ham and told her I liked it because she gives me my allowance. But and it's not bad. It's not bad, but I never was a big cheese pizza fan. I like anything they have in the restaurant. I said whatever you can find in there, put it on there.
Yeah.
But we went to this one place around the corner called Montesano's, and these two twin brothers are from Italy. You have to go in there when the mother's there so she can translate because they don't speak English. They both look like Volkswagen bugs that you just lifted up and stood on their rear bumper. And they make a cheese pizza. When it was served to me, I thought, what's odd about this? And the mother said, I know what you're thinking. What's odd about this? I'm like, are you psychic? She said, no, but I could tell. You're thinking it's odd because we don't use just cheddar and mozzarella, which Americans do. We have an old family recipe of a blend of Italian cheeses. For one, two, we don't use sauce on the cheese pizza. On the other ones we do, but the cheese pizza we don't because when we're done, I notice they throw on slices of fresh tomato on top of the pizza after they've pulled it out of the
Well,
oven.
it's a cheese pizza. It's not
Yeah,
a marinara. Yeah.
Again,
but
I'll make anything for anybody. No orange cheese on pizza. No, no,
No,
that's a big
I'm with you.
no. My
That's a reason for
grandmother,
an exorcism.
my grandmother was the first one in her family born in America, so this is the old ways. And then my grandfather was from Stockholm, Sweden, and I grew up with a lot of ethnic food. I'll make it for you because I'm that kind of girl. But no orange cheese on pizza. That's a no.
well, I see these little white creamy dollops all over the pizza. I'm like, what is that? I didn't know what that was. She said after we pull it out of the oven and throw the slices of tomato on there, we put dollops of ricotta. I'm telling you,
Ricotta.
that was so delicious.
Yeah.
So if we ever go there, that's the pizza I order. But other than that, I like anything else they have in the restaurant on top of
Yeah.
their brand.
Well, it's traditional to their region. Every region has
Well,
its own
you two are
tradition.
gonna, Amelia and Annette, you two are gonna have to stay in contact and maybe do a pizza show.
We could do a pizza show.
Maybe do a pizza show. Or Amelia, you need to write a book about pizzas.
No.
And then that will publish it.
And
I
that's the
Like a
publisher.
point, counterpoint,
yeah.
one chapter about this, one chapter about that.
Yeah.
My view pizza.
Oh my
Everybody
gosh.
likes pizza. In my opinion, they call anything a pizza anymore if you have a crust or even a pita bread and you put something on top of it.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
And right now we've probably lost Zach. He's probably on his way to get pizza right now.
Or he's sound asleep.
No, you start talking about food.
There he is.
Okay, here
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh.
I've got just a couple of questions for um, Michelle, and then, like I said, I'm going to shut up because I think, in addition to the question we got in the mailroom, which I love that question, can ghosts kill? I'm going to let Annette have it go at you two, let you gals chat because I think Annette's going to go old school on you and just talk about a lot of paranormal stuff. So this is what I want to ask you, Michelle. Last night when we were getting off the show, you'd mentioned you got to ask me about my story about my daughter.
Hmm.
So I'm going to ask you that question now. I wanted to ask you so bad last night on your show, but then I wouldn't have any question to ask you today. So I'm interested about your story.
Well, we were speaking about how we take chances when we go in to certain locations when we're helping people. And we don't always take into account that just because we protect ourselves, just because we're doing everything right, it still doesn't mean something can't follow you back. And I worked with a family who, it was an odd situation, and it would take a lot of time to go over it all. But long story short is that my daughter did get affected because initially we were talking about returning to the location. She completely lost her vision. And we had her go to, she had all kinds of specialists. Photos were taken of the inside of her, behind her eyes. She went to optometrist specialists. We had CAT scans done. Everything was done. And she was like that probably for close to a month. And I just decided, well, I'm not going to go back. And took my family doctor saying, what did you work on last? Because there's no explanation for why this is happening. There was no medical explanation. I mean, we had her talk to, a psychologist. Is there something going on in here that's just making her behave a certain way, because I'm thorough. And I thought about it, I went, oh, wow. But, so I just tapped in and said, okay, it's like, stay away. Yeah, no problem. But unbeknownst to this entity is that the family did not want us to return. They were under complete oppression. They did not want any further assistance. I wasn't going back regardless, but family first, and that's the way it happened. And literally within about 24 hours, she said, I could see. but her vision was never the same again, and there was never any explanation for it. So that was a very humbling experience.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
it sort of puts things into perspective, and you put the brakes on a little bit, and you realize you're not invincible after all.
That's
So those
scary.
are early days for me. Yeah, early
Yeah.
days for me, you know,
That's
and it's
enough
just
to
like
walk away.
it
Mhm.
set precedence over everything I did moving forward. Everything was different. And now whatever comes to me comes from a different source. And everything I did, even from that point on, when I let source decide how things got done, then things got done that way.
Well,
Didn't
just
come
so the
from
two of
me
you
anymore.
know, last night after I was on your show, I added you guys to the prayer list and I offered prayer up for both of you because
Thank
I,
you.
I do think what you two do is you guys are both fantastic. And so just know that, I pray for you guys a lot. On that whole attachment note, I'll throw this at Amelia and then I'm going to get out of the way. Um, Attachments, Amelia, you're a very gifted psychic medium. You do cold cases, missing persons. My gosh, how you could do that is
Took a
how you
break.
could be. Yeah. Um, have you ever worked? I just saw another movie that reminded me of you called The Gift.
I
Have you
want
ever
the
worked
money.
a murder? Have you ever worked a murder case where the murderer was also dead and he didn't want you to solve that, so you got the attachment of the murderer?
Not the attachment, but the haunting. It was a very old cold case, and the scary thing is, when I was first beginning, so I didn't know what I've learned so much from Michelle. I didn't know how to protect myself and how to shield myself and how to turn things off. This was after the NDEs. I was just wide open, and even though I've always had it, I've always managed to keep it away. And the whole thing about this lady that I was focused on had, I think it was 3 or 4 children, married. She would go to Nevada. She was having an affair with a mobster. The mobster, I would call it mobster because back in the day that's what it was. It's in the, just before the war. Um, Someone was there to kill him, and she stepped in front of him and she took the knife instead. So of course he was killed. But I was being protected by her, but haunted by him because she was ashamed. She wouldn't cross over because she was ashamed, because now her affair was out there, and this is how her children and her husband and her family found out. But the creepy thing is, I resemble her a lot
Really?
in that photograph. If I had my hair done that way, if I dressed like her, I was like, the resemblance is just crazy. So sometimes I wonder, did I help my own portion of my soul from way back when? She was a nurse. That's a healer. I don't heal that way, but I do it in a different way. There's just so many. But anyone who would see her photo, and I have it saved on my old computer, would just look at me and go, "Holy crap! Like, you really look like her." And I had a hard time letting her go. I actually liked having her around, but I don't know if that was me or her. So, yeah.
And to take it a step further with your question, I mean, we've worked with people who were considered murderers or people who may have committed a crime when we went in to maybe move someone over who have had attachments. And then you have to remove the attachment because the spirit is grounded. So now you start thinking, did the attachment come first? Is that what caused this person to commit the crime? And there are times where the spirit has no recollection of what happened because of the attachment. So like it goes a lot deeper than
It's the
some people
chicken and
think.
the egg.
Real quick, and then I'm going to let Annette have a go at you. Michelle, I could have the wrong person. Weren't you the producer slash director slash creator? Something, you had a major involvement in an old show which I loved, called Paranormal Survivor.
Paranormal Survivor, I was deemed there expert, which I always say there's no such thing. So again, it labeled, but in the last season of Paranormal Survivor, um, I contributed and probably filled with people who were interested in it. So I got them everybody for that, and also a show
Very
called My
cool.
Paranormal Nightmare. I
Oh,
basically filled that
yeah.
season
Yeah.
for the most part. So yeah, I was really lucky to be able to consult on some of those as well as contribute and be a part of it. So that was
Do
a
you
good show.
currently have your paranormal poker and the fire stoking the flames on any other projects that you might want to tell us about?
I have retired from
Oh, okay.
filming. I just got yes. Long story there, but I was asked to develop what I come back and film. What would I want to film? Create a series. So I created a series essentially that got sold, to someone else or stolen, and it is very popular today. And I won't get into which show it is, but I'm glad that it was a great enough idea because it's part of why I do a lot of consultations because I can create very easily. It was something I created literally within a few minutes and said, "Well, here, do this, and this," and it became a hit. They're doing it, which I thought fantastic. But I ended up filming a couple of documentaries after that. One is still in the works, and one, of course, was something that I like to plug my friend Aaron Daniels, Annis, because we did a show called "There's No Such Thing as Ghosts," and that was the first documentary, which is found on Netflix or Amazon, all of these Hulu, and it was a lot of fun. So that was the end of it. I get asked to do books and stuff a lot. I'm just not interested in writing. My head works, my mouth works faster than my head, or my head works. One is
Well,
never in sync.
if
Let's
you
put it
write
that
if
way.
you write these books, which I'm sure will be wonderful, Annette is a publisher.
Thank
You can
you.
talk to her about that happening.
Thank you. Thank you. I have been asked as just a time thing. So, but I
Well,
still consult.
I'm gonna shut up now. I mean, I've got the question. I've got the can ghosts kill question. I know that you've got UFO background, and there's the big thing now of are some of these spacecrafts actually living entities and not spacecrafts with aliens in them, but the craft itself. So I know Annette can go anywhere she wants to go with you guys, but I'll let you guys chat, and I'll enjoy my blueberry green tea.
Very nice.
Oh.
Well, I think all of that's really fascinating. And, we were touching on a little bit of um, the reality that a lot of people in the, if you want to call it paranormal community, but, people in the paranormal have also had experiences with UFOs, they Bigfoot, sometimes all kinds of things. And I was saying before the show to Michelle that a lot of the people that I knew, and myself included, felt like they had to choose one area to speak about. Otherwise, you would be deemed a crazy person. Because if you, started saying, oh, well, yeah, and then I saw 3 UFOs, and then I saw Bigfoot, and yeah, I've got ghosts too, they would just dismiss you. But now, as the years have gone by, it's come out that it's more and more popular that it seems like there's a segment of the population that has maybe one foot a little bit into a spiritual realm, and they're open to seeing all kinds of things and experiencing all kinds of things. But it was back in the day, you wouldn't say that you saw UFOs if you were talking about ghosts, but I've seen UFOs like maybe 4 times, and a lot here in Oklahoma, a lot in Oklahoma. Um, and I mean, sometimes it just stays there for a very long time. And I call my daughter and her husband, go look right here, we'll stand there and look at it, get bored, go in the house,
That's pretty
get
impressive
something to
that they
drink,
sit
come
there.
back out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There it is, just stationary. At the bottom of it's flashing white, red,
Wow.
Mm,
white, red. Like I'm talking about um 2 hours.
that's
Not really.
incredible.
Wow.
That's
That's a long
incredible.
time.
That's a
Yeah.
great sighting.
Are you
Yeah.
getting any communication when that happens?
No. And I got a little bit weird about it because, again, back in the day, they just said UFO, which I love that technical term, unidentified flying object. So people are saying, oh, okay, you're saying you see aliens. I did not say I saw any aliens. I said unidentified. Same thing with UAP, exactly what the letters mean. And am I claiming I understand what it is? No. And I think it could be a lot of different things, a mixture of all kinds of things. And um, then people started saying that they thought that all of it was demonic. And I don't know I don't know. I think if they wanted to do real harm to us, they could have done it. I don't know what's stopping them. We absolutely couldn't stop them. If they wanted to attack
Mm.
us, they could do whatever they wanted to do. And so I don't know about that, but what Sean was saying too a few minutes ago about, are the spaceships themselves entities? That's really interesting.
Mm.
And a slight correlation with someone that recently was saying that they felt that AI was going to morph into its own species
Mhm.
with its own intelligence and its own species. So now that's kind of another um, thought about things that are basically mechanical and becoming um, conscious of their own devices and becoming a creature that is not of flesh and blood.
Mm.
Well, so that's a lot. I mean, what do you think
Scary.
about any of that? It is kind of scary, isn't it? Hmm.
Um, I believe that there is a blend of paranormal and extraterrestrial sightings or experiences. I'm an experiencer, and I've come just as an adult learning more about what experiences go through, and I'm thinking, well, it's really sounding a little bit familiar. And a lot of delving. Amelia and I have worked a lot on delving and getting inside with my environment and so on in my life, and realized that many of my experiences were probably more ET than anything else. The similars, right down to the smell of sulfur, happens with contactees or abductees as well. Sounds, that crackling sound or tearing sound, is also associated with ET. Sleep paralysis, the hag syndrome, where they sit on the chest in the paranormal, is also associated with abductions and contact. It's like it's all there. And as far as crafts, it is believed that the being in the ship and the ship itself pretty much are one. They have to link to get those things going.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So they're connected, right? So they're completely in sync. The ship is alive, but it also syncs with its pilot.
Very interesting.
And of course, this is based on people who've been on our show, who have
Yeah.
been versed on it, and who've had great conversations about it. I mean, this is part of what we love about doing the show, is the people who come on. We learn as much as like they're teaching us, and we're learning all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We are students in all of this. It's just what we do. We're supposed to keep learning.
That was kind of why I was doing my show back in the day too. I wanted to hear from other people, and I was trying to learn things, and I was trying to understand things from a different perspective, and just kind of looking for um, I don't know if there are any real definitive answers, but once you're kind of touched by the paranormal, like you guys could say something, I could think about what you said all weekend long.
Mm,
Just, it could be like totally mind blowing or open a door to a new way of considering things because, it's
mm,
so vast that I don't even know. I mean, kind of like an idea of God. I don't even know if we're capable of understanding it if we knew 100% the whole truth of the entirety of God or of the paranormal, supernatural, anything like that. Like it's so immense. And then people they link one experience to another, but a lot of times each experience is kind of individual. And so you can be, by comparing things, you could be learning more and getting wiser, but at the same time, you could be starting to go down a wrong road because you're making decisions and you're thinking, oh, yeah, this is just like that. I know what this is.
It's really tough because I'm sure all of us here will agree things are changing all the time. Nothing, even though it's similar, are never going to be two that are exactly the same. There's going to be differences as much as there are similarities. But the problem is with investigative paranormal television, you have people who are watching this and thinking that this is the way to do things. And it's not like you learn how to protect yourself and ground yourself in a lot of these shows. You get people who are out investigating a location sometimes for, 1, 2, 3 days a week, and you're seeing the best of all of that put together, whatever's, is not on the cutting room floor, and they put together a segment. And this is what people are seeing. They don't know how to protect themselves. They're never taught. You go to haunted locations, for example, on big tours. I used to do tours. I used to tell people how to protect themselves, but that doesn't happen all the time. It's almost like it's a non-event. People want to live dangerously. They want the fear factor. They're attracted to the unknown. We're not always thinking of the consequences.
You know who did do that though? Ryan Buell, and I can't remember Penn State. What was his show called?
Yeah.
He was religious, so I know that Lorraine Warren was on there a lot and Chip Coffee, and they were both that way. And I don't know if it's because of her that they would do a prayer together before going in and a
They
prayer
did.
coming out. They were the only ones though.
It's true. You don't see it a
No.
whole lot.
No,
You don't
not
see
at
it a
all.
whole lot.
Not at
So-
all. They don't even speak about, and you don't even have to go religious that way. I mean, it's grounding and releasing. So
Yeah, for those who aren't, there's
Yeah.
something for everyone.
Mhm.
They had a girl on that show that was, I believe she was Wiccan.
Yes,
Yes.
She
she
used
was
to
phenomenal.
work with angels and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of nice. I thought that show was like extremely interesting. I
Mm.
really did.
A friend
I
of mine
thought
used to do a lot of the historical background stuff for that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know people who know, folks from the show. I think it had really good potential, and I think when you get into dark things, eventually dark things have a way of taking over, and you end up going down a different path because
They did that
how
show
many
for
hosts
years.
like Ryan did go through some very dark times. Zach Bagans went through some very dark times.
So
It's the
did
nature of the beast, pardon the pun, but it is the nature of the beast in delving into these dark things. I've had many researchers throughout the decades that I've worked who have said, I like to research ghosts and hauntings. I don't know or want to know anything about darker things. I still get emails from fellow researchers. Hey, can you guys take care of this? Well, all right.
Well,
You
what
know,
is the quote? And it's like creepy to think about, but it's like, remember when you're looking into the darkness, that the darkness is looking into you.
100%.
It's
It's
darkness sees you before you see the darkness.
It's
Right.
true. But if
And-
it's dimensional, it's already within your space. People could put on these magic, like they had the old Dysianin, if I'm pronouncing that right, the old glasses that were done in the military. And this was a substance that was put on, created by a doctor. I don't have all the details because I'm not prepared. I wasn't prepared to discuss it. But in the military, back, I think it was World War One, I believe. It was way back there. They put on these glasses along with night vision. They put this stuff on it. And it became horrific because pilots were literally shooting at their planes in their squadrons because they were seeing flying demonic things with wings over the planes coming at them. They decided no more of this. So it was combined with the type of night vision. But these Dysianin glasses you can't get. They claim you can see auras with them. And they're not easy to find authentic ones. I bought some and I haven't even taken them out of the box. I was just happy to come across them, and they're not cheap to get these specific ones. But with that being said, if people could put on these glasses, if they were available, you could be seeing exactly what is in your dimension and dimensionally speaking.
That could be crazy.
It would.
Did they
Dimensions are
make a
like, let's
camera with a lens like that? Glasses?
no, they're just
No,
glasses.
but see, now the skeptic in me will turn around and say, okay, I can believe that. But the skeptic in me will say, what about what's coming off the chemical that they're putting on those glasses? Is it causing them to hallucinate, or is it really there?
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
According
that's
to
a tough one.
all of the research that was done, the people who did these specific ones got a hold of all the original research. It's not like it's inside your eyes, you know.
No,
But
no, I
and to
know.
me, nothing is foolproof. But
No.
the military tested these with horrific results. They were
Well,
shooting
I'm not
themselves.
doubting you.
Oh no. I'm saying they were
Yeah.
shooting themselves up. Something scared them. Dimensionally speaking, everything is within our own dimension that most people can't see. You know, it's like listening to a radio station. You can only listen to one at a time. It doesn't mean there aren't other ones there, but you can only do one at a time. It doesn't mean you can't tap into these other
Right.
sources. This doesn't mean you can't tap into other dimensions. They come through with ease. In fact, a lot of ETs come through just dimensionally. They don't all need portals, is what I'm saying.
That's another thing that cracks when it opens.
Okay.
There's a portal. You think you're hearing static from your TV or an appliance, and
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Annette mentioned, if these things wanted to hurt us, they would have already. And I'll throw this at Amelia because she's gifted. How do we
so's
know that?
Michelle.
Different.
Trying to get Amelia in here. Um, how do we know that they're not already harming us? We just don't recognize that particular type of attack. Like we might have some that are causing the world to seem so evil right now, and the violence and against one another, and the wars and the violence in politics and all that stuff. And then there might be some that are out there trying to prevent some of them from harming us, and maybe that there's another interdimensional war going on that we don't know about. Would you guys dive
all
to
of the above. All of the above. There's always something greater than us, whether it's negative or it's positive. And I believe that you can tell by the type of person someone is that there probably is something in the driver's seat, as Michelle says, that's not natural. I really believe, and I'm not the only person to say this, I've heard politicians say this, that we're actually in a spiritual war right now. And this is coming from politicians.
So you're talking, like Amelia's talking about, like, are we talking about ET or attachment? Because I was trying to figure out where you were stemming
I
from.
remember last night you mentioned something about ever being fooled, and I admitted I
Got
think
it.
I've been fooled
Okay.
many times. I talk to people all the time, and they describe these encounters with me, and sometimes they're describing things that are classic interdimensional alien type abductions, taking them off to show them things, angelic beings like angels visiting them and taking them and showing them other worlds. And then some of them are very violent, some of them are very sexual, like succubus or incubus attacks. They're all over the chart, so I'm wondering if it's just so many different things happening. um, we're all being fooled.
Oh, there's so many different dimensions. And when you're speaking of a person who's evil, that is a reflection of what's driving them in their energy and in their space. And when it comes to ET, Michelle and I can tell you that there are more positive experiences than anything.
Mine have all been, for the most part, good to my
Yeah.
recollection. But you have to also understand that some of these beings were here long before us. Reptilians, draconians, for example. Are people mixing up a draconian or reptilian for a demonic? We get into Gnostic texts that talk about archons, who feed off of us, and they tend to look like grays. So we are the ones they were here before us. All of these beings, you can find things that go back hundreds of millions of years that have surfaced, out of place artifacts, carvings. Ancient cultures existed even with the reptilians. So I think when Annette said they could harm us if they wanted to, absolutely. If you're talking like full on scale invasion, we have worked with people who have been harmed or they claim to be harmed, but is it their fear? That is making it a bad experience. Maybe if you go in there punching, kicking, and screaming, it's going to get ugly. They're going to defend themselves.
And then comes the question of my lab. Is it an actual
Different thing
ET
right there.
experience? Or because with my lab, you'll hear a lot of people having horrible experiences because that fear is being created for a reason, for power. It's a whole
not
other
ET
reason.
at all. Right.
No. Now, if you're asking me if I could see if something's attached to someone by looking at them, I would have to say yes. I could feel it, see it, smell it very easily.
Mm.
And that's why I work with Michelle.
Yeah, it's not hard.
No.
So
I have another
I thought
silly
Michelle
question.
put that up for me to read.
I know. I'm like, Amelia, you want to get that?
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, hi, Wayne. Like, I'm ready to read it. It's only been 12 hours.
I have a silly question.
Yes.
How do you actually remote view?
Ooh.
That's a secret.
Okay.
Let's just say I'm natural. I'm not give a series of numbers and I do it. It's a natural thing for me. I didn't even know I was a remote viewer until I was working with missing children. I had no clue.
When you're remote viewing, are you ever in a vulnerable position where other things out there notice you remote viewing and you're vulnerable for attack?
All the time, and that's why I have Michelle.
Really?
I'm always like, get back in the circle.
Yeah.
Stop that. She likes to float like a balloon.
I'm very much a squirrel in the sense that I pick up stuff and I follow it. I do that I should have been a cop. Like I pick up so many things around me so quickly before it happens. I remember my daughter was at Sick Kids Hospital once when she was little, and I could hear before anyone could see that there was something coming, and I pushed my husband and my daughter into a room which they only had with curtains, and he went to touch lights. I'm like, don't turn on the lights, stay in the corner. And I turned around, and because there's a prison nearby, there was a convict shackled, running away from the police. That's something that I've always picked up on, but my empathy doesn't allow me to do that kind of work because I think I just turn to jello because I can't. I see anybody hurting. I can feel it all. It's just too much. But it's just really bizarre. And I want to go to it. And Michelle always pulls me back because we connect when we work. So
even if she has a headache, I'm like, if she goes, I have a really bad headache, I'm like,
I'm always feel bad. I'm like, it's okay. I'll lie down and we'll do this over text. Nope.
I tap into her and I'm like, you're not. Get down. Like the spirit team
like
that
the
watch
balloon
her.
that
have
you
to
let
tether
go of
her.
the string.
It's terrible. But because I will see eyes on her. I'm like, don't. You're because you forget yourself, and she'll go popping about. I'm like,
I've been a target my whole life. I've been a target my whole life, and I didn't know why until we met.
Yeah. It's like a double-edged sword, I would think.
I'll never forget the day we met. I looked at her and I said, I don't know how you do this. And she looked at me, she goes, I don't know how you do what you do. And it was just like click, family love right there. And I love saying this. I won, Michelle.
She did.
At an auction.
Sure.
I cut everybody off at their freaking knees 1 minute before and literally did not have to pledge that high, but I did because I wanted to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to meet her. And it was just like I knew the first time I saw her on television, I had my daughter very young and I was watching her. And it's a very, very strong case that if she wants to talk about it, I'll let her. And I looked at her and I go, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful and her soul's so warm. I'm going to meet her one day. She doesn't live far. And yeah, it's like 20 years later. Yeah.
Here we are. And then
It's
we find
funny,
out
you guys do seem like family. You guys have been doing
We
this.
are
You guys have been together for a long time. Not
2018.
together, but
yeah, it's
Yeah.
20,
We met in
2019.
2018, and 2019 we started you started with Jack Kenna, and then Jack Kenna had to bow out. Incredible investigator. Love Jack. And I was just kind of just said to them, you can do your show on my network that I had going at the time, just on Blog Talk. And then I hated Blog Talk, and
We went to
he
the
backed out,
station.
and she's like, do you want to join me? I'm like, I don't want to do a show. I was like, well, I like the background. But yeah, and it was just so much fun. And we went to I'll let Michelle tell the rest of the story.
No,
'Cause then
no.
I'll go squirrel and we'll run out of time.
No, no, we just went from an actual radio station, and when everything went sour, a few years ago, uh, we were already syndicating in New Orleans, and then we just went full on to New Orleans. Decided to do 2 nights, got picked up by a famous sponsor, and then just kept going from there. And we're what, Amelia, 400 and we'll be 400 and what, 54 and 55 episodes
Yes.
this coming week. So perseverance. I'd say, but it's been a great ride. It's
I've
a
been
wonderful
off
journey.
a lot. But
Yeah.
that's Michelle driving it. She hasn't missed a show. I've been off a lot with my daughter's illness and my own issues. And Michelle's the drive, and she's the producer, the director, the creator, the manager of the network. She's Superwoman. Yeah, we were dangerous sitting next together in a radio station, though, because we were literally like 6 inches apart. So we
And
laughed
Amelia would
a
bring
lot
like
more than we
food,
should have. Yes, I would fake
like
Michelle
Italian
because
food.
because I was cooking dinner and I was leaving just after that. So I would just say to her, "Are you hungry? Do you want?"
And it was radio. It wasn't visual.
Oh, yeah. It was intimidating. All those soundboards were intimidating.
Take it away, Amelia.
Mine is so my board, you see my board, how tiny it is? That thing, the whole table, we couldn't even put our laptops down.
No.
And Bishop James was one of our first guests.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's been on twice, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I took his demonology course, and it took me 3 years to do it. And I didn't really finish it because then I started working with Michelle and I learned everything. I would call him or text him and say, there's something in my room. It's like, this is what happens when you take this course, Amelia. You're going to start seeing things. I don't want to see things. I'm putting the book away. Okay. Can you pray for me? Like, that's where we were at. Because I worked crime. This other side scared the crap out of me. At least my profiling and my behavioral training, I could pick up stuff on serial killers, demons.
But with that being said, we've been brought into places that were supposed to be benign hauntings, and there's been a couple of times where there's been a murder.
The body.
And I'm like, Bubbles,
so
this is up your alley. Take it away. Like,
it was so frustrating. It was the second day. We did a weekend of going to help people in person. Yeah. And I think it was the second day. And she's actually had her story on television. And I they're going to the owner to say hello. And I'm like in the backyard, and I look at Michelle, we got to get in the backyard. There's a body in the ground. And it was just coming out of the truck. It was just crazy. And then that was a long day.
Yeah.
That was a long day. And Michelle saved me. She came back looking for me. I was out cold on the middle of the stairs. I didn't know where the hell I was. It wasn't evil. It was just she was telling her story.
Aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Well, guys, listen. We have just a few minutes left. Anything you want to, and I want to make sure anything you guys want people to know about you or what you're doing or the show or anything, websites, anything, feel free to take the next few minutes to make all those announcements. And on last night when I was on your show, Amelia, I know you mentioned that you wanted to, I haven't had a chance to talk to Bishop Long yet, but he would love to hear from you to say something to him about his sister passing.
Yeah, of course.
And if you were to ask him, do you and Sean have a special relationship? If he had to put his finger on what's special about our relationship, he'll tell you, meeting Sean, I've had to increase my anxiety medication. So it's a
I
different.
think I did that too, though, because I'm very protective of him. So we've been in this where we will see someone who's not particularly positive influence in his life, and I'm like right there going, you need to get rid of this person. And I think he's thinking, holy God, like Amelia,
Reach
but
out to him. He would. I know he would love that
I
if you
do
reached out
see
to him.
it. I see it. And it's a cute story how we met too, but we don't have time. But I'll let Michelle talk about the websites.
Well, easy. It's theouterrealmradio.com. Sweet, simple. And our show is on every Wednesday and Thursday night, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. And we have a full array of phenomenal guests. And yeah, we're
Everybody
very good.
where they can watch the show, but for the few that may not, where can they and how can they listen or watch the show?
Best thing to do is follow us at the Outer Realm page on Facebook. But technically, we stream to 8 different locations. We
Cool.
have a Facebook page. We're on Roku TV. There's all kinds. Like when you're on our network, you stream to 8 locations simultaneously. So there's all kinds of places you can find us. But if you follow us either individually or follow us at the Outer Realm Facebook page, we always put the link into the YouTube and you can find us everywhere.
Very,
Yeah.
very cool. What
And
I love about this show is I'll be proud if Annette and Amelia take off with a paranormal pizza show. I'll be happy if Michelle starts to write and has Annette publish her books, and I will feel somewhat responsible for all that. So I'll be happy.
Free pizza.
Michelle get that anyway. She's 20 minutes
I
away.
know. That could be a thing.
I just want to put out there if anyone is needs my assistance with missing children or a cold case, I do take them one at a time. Missing children, if it's within the same, like it's happening right now. Of course, you contact me through my website, ameliapisano.com. It's very easy. Go to the contact part and just fill out, and it'll directly email me. If it's a cold case, then we'll have a discussion. And no, I don't charge for my services.
You both know I love you. You both know that I respect you. And did you guys have fun when you
Ditto.
come back?
Of course.
I told you the hour flies by so long that I could do a series with you guys, and that will agree. So I will definitely have you guys back on before the year's over, and we'll just pick up where we left off.
Sure.
Excellent.
And
Anytime.
Amelia,
It's been
next
a
time bring
pleasure.
pizza.
Oh, Bubbles, we need to see you. It's been too long. Want pizza? Okay. Did you eat the
Ah.
chocolate already? Is the chocolate still there?
No.
I
My
want you
daughter's best
to.
friend has a chocolate boutique. So
Oh my
everything's
gosh.
handmade, and anyways.
Another one of my many weaknesses.
Oh,
Listen, I want you two to have a wonderful remainder of your Friday evening. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Have
you.
thank
a
you.
fantastic 4th of July.
Thank you.
Even you, and I believe the first, which is Monday, is Canadian Independence Day, isn't it?
No, Canada's birthday.
Canada's birthday. Okay, there we go.
Right.
I'll
So
bring more. No, I drink on.
I love you both. Please take
We love
care,
you
and I'll talk
too.
to you
Nice
guys
to
soon.
meet you,
Okay.
It
Annette.
was so fabulous meeting you, lovely
Let's
ladies.
connect on
Thank you
Nice
so
to
Facebook.
meet you, Annette. Nice
Really
to meet
enjoy
you too. Thank you, guys. Have a
Mwah.
See
good
you
Thank
guys
one.
you so
later.
much.
Good
God bless
night.
everyone.
Bye bye. See you guys later. Annette, I love them, and I knew you would love
Aren't
them.
they
And
fabulous?
please hook up with them on Facebook because I feel something in the future with you guys. So do that.
And you never know. You never
Anything you
know.
want to tell anybody before I kick you out of here?
I don't really think so, but we never answered the question, do you think a spirit can kill you?
I do believe they can. I know people. I do believe. First of all, I'm in the camp that if a spirit doesn't cross over, even if it was a happy disembodied human spirit at one time. I believe over time, over many, many, many years and decades and maybe hundreds of years, I believe they become really unhappy and then start to behave in a malevolent way out of just being so unhappy because they're not in heaven. And I believe they are capable, I believe they get stronger in time and they can do things. And I believe they can lash out and, you know, be vengeful and things like that. So I'm going to say yes.
I have a funny answer to that. I believe that they could, but I don't think it's to your advantage to really think about that very much. Like you could know that you could get hurt and you could be praying for protection, but kind of own your personhood and your space and keep your faith and actually project like I'm in this realm. I'm here and I will get rid of you and come at it from a place of power rather than, oh my God, it could kill me. I just think that the weakening of that thought is bad. Does that make any sense?
Totally. Well, listen, I want you too to have a wonderful remainder of your Friday evening. You know I love you and respect you. Thank you for being here. Um, have a great 4th of July. And please, I'll see you. I won't see you
Next
till the
Friday.
last. Well, no, yeah, I don't
Then,
have another show with you and I till the last Friday of July, which is the 26th.
okay.
And that's Rick Gardner as our special
Oh,
guest.
awesome. He's fabulous too.
All righty, you take care. I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Right, and bye bye now. Annette Munich, my Friday co-host. Okay, um, yeah, next week I'm taking the long holiday weekend off. Then I'm teaching a 2-week online summer school paranormal class. Um, so I'm taking the second and third Fridays off. I've got to cancel Joy's show on Monday the 8th. Um, so I won't be back, like I said, to the last Friday of July, and then the last Monday of July, which will be Happy Medium Monday with Susan Ahern. So you guys have a great 4th of July and a great month. I'll be praying for you all. I do that all the time. Um, thank you to usocc.org, bishopjameslong.com, the church I belong to. Check out Zach's website, communitypayitforward.us. Just go there and be pleasantly surprised. He's got a show too. Does a lot of great things for a lot of people. Um, thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. Thank you to Spirit Alabama. Thank you to PACT, little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, for all these networks simulcasting my show. And rumor has it I may be live streaming to another new Facebook Live platform, but I don't want to, until it's official, I don't want to say anything. So there you have it. So right now, I think it's bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted carnival barker hat. And it's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say good night and have a great weekend and enjoy your lives. I saw 2 huge black birds in my garden this morning and they were stuck together. Turns out they were Velcros. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.